So what you're seeing here is a 3D print text that I created. And the idea was to be able to print it without supports. Now, this is something that I had seen before online. I just couldn't find the source of how it was created. But what I did was I created a script in Grasshopper that allows you to do this printing without any supports. So let me show you here first what it looks like printed. So here I have my daughter's name and it looks really clean. It prints without supports. And so I wanted to show you more than anything what that looks like. And then here, let's go into the script and I'll show you all of the steps that I took for creating this. It is a pretty short script, but I'll show you all of the capabilities that you can do with something like this. So the most important thing is if we go in here and we look at this panel, this is where we would type our text. So if I say, Grasshopper, and then I hit OK, notice that now it creates this one. Now there are some limitations, like if the text is too big, well, this is where we would pick the size of the font. We could make it smaller, we could make it larger, but the maximum size is going to be the bed size. So it either increases like this to the maximum bed size, you could decrease it. You can also pick which font you want to use. So your computer has all of your fonts, and when you look at your fonts here, you'll see them in a long list and you'll see which number you want to use. So let's say on this one, I want to use number 8. So we can change this number to number 8. Notice that the font will change accordingly. The other thing is, let's decrease the size here. Let's go to the offset. So this is going to be for kind of the base plate. You could make it flush or you could make it as an offset. The base depth, that's going to be this bottom portion. And right here, you'll see that we can also scale this because sometimes it prints even easier if you make it thinner because there's even less of an overhang. And lastly, the critical one, which picks the angle. So this is at 90 degrees. We can go back here and change the angle depending on how you want to use this. This may be like a plate that you put somewhere on a lower elevation. So a lower angle is okay. And you can also put it, let's say for a shelf, and then use 90 degrees for viewing it straight on. So like I said, all of the options for this design are in here. Even the max size, like we could even shrink it this way. And what I do at the beginning of creating a Grasshopper script for 3D printing is I make sure that I have the bed size for my 3D printer, and I can use that as a guide to maintain the size as something that can be printed within my 3D printer. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm showing you how to use Grasshopper for 3D printing. And what's great is that at the end, you can take this custom preview, bake it, and then take this geometry and 3D print it. So let me see if I have here. No, I don't have my slicer open, but let me open it up. Here I have the Elegoo slicer, and this is the one that I made for my son. And you can slice it, and notice that when you slice it and we look at the preview, that we can print this also without supports. You do sometimes have a little bit of an overhang issue on the letter C because you have this one overhanging a little bit here. And that's where taking this and shrinking it in this direction might help a little bit. But for the most part, you can print this without any supports. So if you're fairly new with Grasshopper and want to learn how it works, I have this and other tutorials sharing kind of the process. And I'll have this available on my website to download for free for a limited time. And I also have other resources that can help you get started, along with tutorials in my other YouTube channel. So thank you very much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next one.